I remember a long time ago, I think I was doing a presentation or was about to do a presentation or something along that lines. And I was talking to a mentor that I had at the time, and they were telling me something really interesting, which is that um, a lot of people's biggest fear is not death, but fear of public speaking. And when I heard this, I remember being like, oh, there's no way that's true. But then in thinking about it more, I can definitely, like, I think I got it pretty quickly after that. Maybe in a sense, we're not afraid of dying, but we are afraid of what we're leaving behind, what um, impact we have on the people around us and on ourselves throughout our journey here. Um, but sort of like expanding on that, I think there's also immense value in taking time to ponder on your mortality. And there's a lot of ways to do that. I honestly don't know how I got where I am on this topic. I feel like somehow I made my peace very early on. Um, but one of the ways is to ask questions to yourself, and there's quite a few pretty good questions. One of them being, if you were to go to the doctor today and the doctor told you that you have 24 hours left, absolutely 24 hours left, that's like when the clock hits 24, you're you're gone. You're checking out. Not a second before, not a second after. There's no um, alternative. This is absolutely what's going to happen. Um, if you knew that, if you knew that you only had 24 hours left, how would you spend them? Would you go to work tomorrow? Would you wake up when you wake up? Would you talk to people in the way that you talk to people now? Like, how would your daily life change for the next 24 hours? And then the follow up question to that is, why isn't that your day now? Why aren't you doing those things now? Um, and then there's a few like variations to that. There's the variation. Hey, you know that the world is gonna end in 24 hours. The world's gonna end tomorrow. Period. Um, and now this is a slightly different question, because now it's not only your mortality that's at stake, it's everyone's mortality that's at stake. So it puts into question not only how your life would change if you knew that time was closing up, but also how your life would change if you knew that the people around you, particularly like people that you care for, that their time is also closing up with yours. And thinking of stuff like this can be a little unnerving, but I think asking the question, and if writing works for you, maybe like writing down what ideas come to mind, what things stress you out, what bothers you, what would you do, what would you not do, what do you think you would do more of, what would you do less of, what would you like to say to people, um, who would you like to have been a part of their life, all these things. um, I think if you ponder on them and then you dig in deeper, so say that there are things that you would have liked to said to someone in particular. Why have you not said those things already? Why do you feel like you need to say those things? Kind of like dive in there, and exploring, and another way of also like exploring kind of like that tangent is people who maybe who were close to you and left this world before the time you expected them to leave, and maybe you weren't able to like kind of like settle your affairs with them, or say something to them that you think it would have been nice to say to them before they left. um, Taking time to imagine just having that conversation with them, if it's, again, if you want to write it down, or if you want to just imagine that you're talking to them, or just kind of like uh, use your imagination, or actually like speak it out, like in however way you kind of like explore that feeling and that mortality. I think there's something immensely powerful in that sort of like self exploration. I feel sort of like at this point that um, death, in a sense, is a measure of closure. That by knowing that at some point this journey in particular is going to end, it is almost an excuse to get the most out of the journey as we can, to kind of like enjoy who we are, enjoy what we're doing, enjoy where we are. Because at the end of the day, death is just death is the same distance away from everyone. We don't really know who's checking out first, who's not. We don't know who's gonna get a strike of luck or who's not. We just know that we're here, and at some point we won't be. So if we're okay with that, I think it helps us also be okay with us.